Oh my God. We're not putting that in. I think that's the worst intro I've ever made. You've been playing your favorite games for years, and now you want to make your own models like the weapons you use to save the world time and again with your own added personal touch. I'm going to show you how I made this simple sword model that you might find in a video game using the Metaquest 3 and my favorite 3D modeling app, Shapelab Max. By the way, you can even 3D print these. It's a secret between you and me. Don't tell anyone, but I've been doing it for a few years. Check out this working candy dispenser I made in VR. First try, too. What a beautiful day in Hyrule to make a sword in VR. The village below ain't gonna protect itself. Now you may need to watch my previous tutorials on making scenery if you are a complete beginner, but give this a watch first and I think you'll start to see how it all works. In scene mode, pop in a sphere. Now add a cylinder above the sphere. Adjust the sliders until it's thin enough. Place it inside of the sphere. Now we need a torus, also known as a donut. But we need to bring out the edges and widen the hole. We can do all of that with the sliders below. Play around with them. Place your new ring on top of the cylinder. Now let's bring up the transform tools to center it just right. Now we only need half of this ring, so let's use a cube shape and subtract it. Hit the B button on the Metaquest left controller and yank that cube up to where you need it. In the Mesh Density tab, subdivide it using the default value. Just hit it 2 or 3 times. Notice the increase in polygons. Using the Boolean tool, subtract the cube from the ring by first selecting the ring, which will be the blue choice, then the cube, which will become the pink choice. Now we have a nice clean cut. Let's add some detail to our newly minted sword hilt. Select the bottom sphere again, and select the crease tool. Now make a spiral around that thing. So satisfying. Ugh, here comes the dopamine hit. Oh, these paint presets look pretty cool. Give the decorative sphere some metal polish. Ooh, shiny. Now select the handle and let's add some palm swell with the inflate tool. Aim for the middle and pull that trigger and yank it around. Now that looks like a better grip, don't you think? Let's increase the polygons like we did on the cube shape. This will let us get more detail on the leather wrapping, which can be done using spirals and the crease tool once again. Let's use the smooth tool to make it a little easier on the eyes. Starting to look pretty good, no? We're already halfway done. Let's add some lazy red leather color here. And we can paint some darker shadow red tones. This will help it to really pop. We just need a shade of brown. And reduce the opacity of the brush and increase the fall off. This will give us a very nice light spray effect. You can already see the difference. Wow, like night and day. Practicing painting in VR like this is going to help when you actually print or paint it in color. Now for the part you've all been waiting for, the blade. We can use a pill shape and then flatten it with the sliders. Go ahead and pop that blade right into the guard. No worries, we can easily center it with the transform widget on the B button of the left controller. Or you can bring up the context menu and do it there. Select the guard shape again. Let's use the move tool and turn on the symmetry for your X, Y, or Z axis to make the guard a little more interesting. Looks a little simple. Maybe if I just pull down on this a little bit. I really like the way this looks. Oh, you know we're gonna make this gold. Make sure the blade is selected. You can create a double fuller detail effect, which are grooves that run along the blade to reduce weight and look nice. Open up poly mode and select the crease tool. Turn on symmetry for the axis of the other side of the blade so you can hit both sides at once. It's hard to keep our hands steady for a nice straight line in VR, but luckily there's something that can help. I'm gonna show you where the secret menu is. Make sure poly mode is selected and rotate your left wrist. Select the line guide tool. Now we're ready to make a nice machine-like slice on both sides of the blade at the same time. Turn on the steady stroke and set it to at least 100. This creates a nice little dead zone for more balanced, smoother movement. If it's not working right, it means you need to increase your polygons just like we did on the other shapes. Now, if you don't get it on the first go, that's fine, that's normal. Enjoy it and really look at where the line is in relation to the sword, and then look at how the grooves are being made. If you need to, you can turn on the magnet feature and really experiment with those other features at the bottom of the crease tool. When you start doing that and really focusing in on what's happening in front of you, that's when you start to learn really, really fast. You can do it just once down the middle or twice like I did here. I think 2 lines looks cooler. Now this final detail is completely optional. If you want, you can add a little bit of a point to the end of your sword in a very simple way. Turn off the line guide tool, but keep the symmetry option on. Select the pinch tool and make sure the strength isn't too much and the fall off is enough. Now pull the trigger and slightly pull away from the end. Experiment until you get a nice and balanced point. Like I said in the beginning, you can export these as STL files and 3D print them if you wish. You can export them to another program like Blender for retopology, or to prep them to put them in your video game that you're making. I love this app. You can find it in the description of this video, along with my headset and the recommended tools and other accessories that I use in the description below. Now, I know you're getting excited about VR modeling, so I have some other tutorials like Kirby and Mario stuck in a pipe, and even wargaming scenery that are nice and short and easy to follow. See you in those videos.